Hey, so Kwame here. I'm just doing a really quick little tutorial demo trick, I suppose, for Squarespace, and it's just something I find useful for productivity. Um, there's been a new development, which is if I right click onto, well, I'll reload my page first, and then I'm going to just right click anywhere, inspect, and I'm going to scroll down in my style side on the right hand side to here, where we can see our color variables, and these are lovely. I'm going to select them all, and I'm going to copy them. And I'm just going to paste them into my CSS in Squarespace. I'm not worried about that error at the minute because this is just for reference and keeping it on screen. So the great thing about Squarespace adding these is it makes it a lot easier when you're coding to keep your colors consistent. What I'm going to do, because the Custom CSS tab on Squarespace uses the less preprocessor, I'm going to normally when I want to write a variable, so for example, let's just say I want to change this button here, this, let's scroll all the way up to the top. So if I copy this bit of CSS, and you can already see one of the variables in use there, if I want to change that background color to blue, like so, oh, I'm probably going to have to use an important, oh no, it's not the important, sorry, I'm probably just going to have to delete these variables for 2 seconds. If I change them, if I want to change that to blue, like so, I can write it like that, and let's just go back. If I wanted to use a variable, I need to do var, open brackets, and then the name of the variable, and these are quite long. Much quicker way. What we can do, let's say I wanted the color for that, I want it to be whatever our light accent color is. So I'm just going to do at light. Now, we don't have a variable prepared for at light, so I'm going to create one. I'm just going to go to the top, I'm going to mark them out, and this is how I normally do it, color variables. I'm going to say at light, colon, tilde, open quotation marks, and a semicolon. Within that, I know that these, as you can see from there, are HSL variables. So I'm going to type HSL, I'm going to open brackets, and then I'm going to copy the variable in. So I'm going to do var, open brackets again, and this is going to be my light. So I can either do the safe light accent, or I can just do the regular light accent, which is what I'm going to do just because this is quick. I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to paste it 2 more times, so I can do light, accent, and dark. And again, so we have, where is it? Accent HSL, light accent, and dark accent. And of course, the case is important. For the time being, I'm just going to delete the rest of these because I can grab them later, and they're already in there. And you see it's changed to whatever the light accent color is. This shorthand is a lot easier, and it means that every time if I want to change every instance of something that I've set to the background color that I've called light, I just change it once up here. Or even better yet, I just go into my site styles, I go into my colors, and I edit my palette, and I pick, show on hover, I pick my light variable, and they're connected. And it's super easy like that. So we have white, black, light, accent, dark is the order. If I just discard these changes for a second, and I'm going to pull open my inspect tab, and I'm just going to grab the names of the dark and the white one. Bear with me. So it's, where is it? White HSL and black HSL with a dash, strangely. I can create 2 more, and I can call them white, black, black. Now I have my 5 colors from my site's native color palette, and these values automatically update. I've just got like a slightly shorter variable that I can use for my CSS, and it makes it really easy. So I don't know, let's do something interesting. Let's give these some borders, just as a quick little demo. I'm going to inspect them. I think they're classes. Yeah, it's list item. So let's just do list item. And I want them all to have a black border, but I'm going to change my black border in a second. So I can do border 2 pixels solid black. That's in there now. And when I go into my site styles, rather than faffing and worrying about, oh, does it match? Does it match? Does it match? I'm just going to edit my palette and find my black. And you know what? I'm going to give it a little bit of a red tint. In fact, let's make it obvious. Let's make it bright yellow just for the sake of it. It's already happening. And you see that's changing in line with the text color, which is also set to the native black color. So it's just small things like this that I find particularly useful when I am making edits, especially if I want things to be site-wide. The really nice thing about this is obviously you could use these vanilla variables as well if you are writing code in your code injection or your page injection. But rather than having to define them yourself and then change them when you make changes in your custom CSS, that's handled for you, and you get the bonus of it just being a slightly nicer shorthand here in custom CSS panel when you're using less. But if I was, for example, I wanted to write some really page-specific CSS and I had to write it in the page injection, which doesn't support less, I could still use the existing variable and in conjunction with this, and I'm not going to run into any issues. It's going to be nice. It's going to be clean. There's no JavaScript. It's done automatically. So yeah, I hope this is helpful for some of you out there in customizing your sites. It's also just a little bit more visually friendly for your clients and things if you're a dev. And at some point, I will probably delve into these other, 250 variables and other ones that have come in, because I'm sure there are going to be some really nice use cases for them. I'm sure Squarespace is going to keep bringing out really nice little tweaks to the CSS like this that make things a little bit easier. I think I've seen a few that are to do with text size and things like that. You can obviously do stuff with these color safe versions, but for the time being, I'm leaving that out. So I hope this helps someone. If it did, drop a comment or a like or even a sub. Or hey, you can even buy me a coffee if you like. But yeah, and let me know what kind of tutorials and tips you want.